Well, this is the end of 2018, and if you're currently watching, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you. Alright, this is a pattern, and you can, I'm going to hold it here for a while I'm talking, and you can pause it and zoom in. I want to try getting all the angles for you, so you can see the numbers and everything. This is a pattern for, what I'm making is the thing to carry firewood in, your baskets, that you go to the store and buy them. I'm going to show you how to make them at home with stuff you're probably going to throw away or you'll find on the side of the road anyway. Alright, what I'm using is dungarees. We're talking about old dungarees. So our local charity place throws away dungarees that they're not using at all. And what I do is I take the bottom 9.5 inches off of a non-frayed bottom part, and I come over here and I make things that'll hold. This is the cut. Alright, I trim down and I make things that water bottles at students' desks at school they can go into. They tie to the pole and go in. And a lot of those Esperanza have some of those. And then you can take the back pockets off right here, and you can make cell phone cases that hook up to your belt. So that's the uncut one. Alright, with the loop that I'll be putting up here. And these are the finished ones here. So that's beside the point. If you want to know how to make these, let me know and I'll make a video on how to make these. In the meantime, over here, you're going to, this is an animal feed bag. Alright, so that's what I use for my patterns. I do a lot of seaming and trimming, and I just made a really cool thing for a rocking chair for a child. So the cushions. Alright, I don't use any needles. I use clamps. Alright, so this includes on the side here about a 1/2 inch in from the end. So you want to cut all the way around. So I took a black magic marker and I marked all the way around. Now under this is 3 parts of jeans. So these are what's left over after I cut off the 9.5 inches from the bottom, and it's all the way up to the seam, the inseam, the top part of the inseam of the pants. Alright, so these are all clean. And one thing I really need to tell you is on this, on the ends where you're going to be sewing, you do not want the seam. You don't want to sew on multiple layers of the seam, because your sewing machine, I don't care how tough it is, will not go through it. Alright, so you're going to cut this around. This is a cut part already. But see now, I'm going to show you something. See how rugged all these are? That's with a house pair of scissors. You want to go to Joann's or a place, get these really good scissors. This is a cut. That's a cut right there, which is really nice with this pair of scissors. Alright, 2 in a pack for $14. You can't beat that. Alright, titanium. Alright, they hold their blade for a long time. So you're going to cut this around. Alright, and we're cutting up. I'm not using this because they're frayed. See, this is a frayed pair of pants, so I'm not going to use this for my water pouches, because I don't want a frayed pair of pants being used for it. So you're going to cut this around. I'm cutting back like I did over here. I'm going to show you something. See how this guy right here? It's going to be hard to hem this. Roll this over twice. I roll it twice to hem. If you leave that fully intact inside and you don't de-thread some of this on the other side, leave one row of thread for about 3 inches. So you can roll this. So when you roll the hem, it'll look like this. Alright, so that's what you do when you roll the hem and you stitch it with a heavy-duty sewing machine, is what you're going to need in order to do this. I tell you, with these scissors, it's effortlessly. I mean, it just goes through like butter. Really nice, even going through the heavy, thick parts here. Alright, I do want to show you that I'm not opening up the pants. Alright, this is still a closed leg of pants. Even the small one over here is the closed one. It's double layered. In this case, where it's going to be overlaying, it's going to be 4 layered. Alright, going over that. So these are going to get sewn together, two going down this way. This is going to be these are going to be internally hemmed. I'm going to bring these in. They're going to roll in like I did on that thing over there. And all you do when you sew them together like this is going to be rolled. So it's rolled once, so the hem is actually buried inside. So then what I'm going to do is right over each other, sew it again. So it's going through 3 layers of each. It's a total of 6 layers of jeans. So it might be tough to actually get over this part right here. Alright, you might have to work around that. Just go up to it, skip it, lift the needle up and the shoe up and go right over it. Alright, so time to take it and do some sewing. We're all cut. You could discard all the scraps. Alright, there's really no use for those scraps at all. And you could take it to the machine and start taking care of it. But look at this. This is with the household scissors. And look at it now with the new scissors. Get yourself a good pair of scissors. Really good brand. One of the 2 best brands around. I got to thinking after I take this apart, take it to the sewing machine, how am I going to know where everything is going to go? So what I did is underneath, I lifted this up and I put black marks all the way across. You probably can't see them that well, but they're dashes. They go all the way across over here, and then down on this side too, underneath this guy, you'll see marks. So now at least I know where everything is going to go. These are going to be on top. This is the bottom, next, and next. Okay, I'm going to show you how to take out a seam up to basically the last stitch. We want to do it with 3 inches back. Alright, so we can roll the fabric back and hem it. So you be careful with these sharp scissors. These are the little sharp scissors that you use for cutting threads. So you're going to go as far in as you can without going all the way through. You start working your way up. Alright, and I need to pay more attention to what I'm doing in the camera. So if I go out of the picture, I'm really sorry about that. So I'll look down every once in a while to make sure we're good, but you can hear the clicking. Alright, and then once we lift it up, you can see where we're at. So just keep clicking away, stay in line with the fabric, because you don't want to cut through the fabric itself. You're going to go all the way up to the top, keep your fingers down low so you're not going to get your fingers. Alright, so when you come out the top, you come out the top. Pull this back, and you'll see the threads. You see the threads are right down inside here. Alright, you want to cut the threads. So get in there and cut them. Alright, you're going to pull that back even further. So you want to get back to that back row, because that's all you want when you roll this over. So we're back there, alright, and we are at that last stream. So the last row. So we need to make sure we're far enough back here, and we're going to take our scissors and we're going to actually cut this off. So we take our scissors here. I'm really hoping I keep it inside the video. I need to turn this around. Hold on. Alright. Bring this back this way. So we're going to cut up in this area. So I like seeing what I'm doing down here. So these are these really sharp scissors. They are, where's the name? They're Fiskars titanium scissors. So they work really good in here. We're going to cut down to where we're just going above the threads. Alright, we take that off. Alright, we may not have gone down far enough, but that's okay. See, so now that's something that we can actually work with by rolling this back. We're not worried about all this thread here. Alright, that'll come off eventually. We're going to do the same thing with this other end, which is right here, but this only has 1 string. So on this side here, we're going to reach about 3 inches up and just reach underneath there and start cutting that thread out. So bring it up, watch out your hand. My hand's probably in the wrong place, but just get in there and start clipping. Just clipping away. Alright, take your scissors, go right up, right above the threads. I might have hit the threads. We want to see this real quick. If this pocket comes apart, if this area comes apart, you're going to be folding it anyway. And you're going to sew it shut anyway. Well, I went ahead and sewed up the ends and sewed them together. I pre-sewed these 2 parts together. Actually, individually, I sewed the ends off so they would stay lined up. And then I ran it all the way through. Now, this is what my knitting machine, it looks like I didn't cut some threads off here, so I have to cut those off. But there is a gap here. I'm not really worried about that. I think when we run the threads down, we can actually cover those up. This is the bottom, actually. And you can see the thread goes right through. I mean, you got seams right here. The Nikki is rated to go through 7 layers of vinyl. and it's a Nikkei machine that I'm actually using to do this, a heavy-duty machine. So I had to walk it over this because it did get stuck on this, so I just walked it a couple of steps, and then I continued on with the thread. Alright, so I have to do the same thing to this side over here, and then attach the two together, then put the straps on. Okay, my two halves are sewn together, or actually that's the outer side of those two are sewn. It took a lot of work to get to this part, mainly because of the cutting of the seams. You know, to cut the 3 inches in so we can curl it. Not all of them actually did that, but you look at it this way, it's all on the inside anyway. Alright, so there's my dotted line. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a dotted line that goes across. I didn't make it a solid line so it wouldn't really stick out far. So my two halves, when I sew it together, are going to come over like this. There's 4 layers of fabric, except for the end pieces. Alright, now looking at the original wood carrying bag, has a big rip in it and a rip over there also. The strap that goes around like this is about 6 foot 10 inches long. So I'm going to say about 7 feet is where I'm going to make this strap. Alright, I put the template over the pattern here, what I've sewn, and I took and put an X underneath each box, each one of those boxes. That shows where this is actually going to be permanently. You know, the round is going to terminate right there. So I need to find a way to actually mark that spot. What I'm doing is I marked across on top, all the way across where the line is going to be, and on the bottom I put lines where the ends are, because by the time I move this to sew machine, it'll be all discombobulated. So the two coming close together like this is actually these two coming together. This is a strap I found on the side of the road. It is 7 foot long. I cut it to that off of a 15-foot cargo strap that I found on the side of the road. Absolutely free, just came out of the wash, so it's clean. Alright, but this is going to be a really cool thing. I mean, it looks different. It's not a fashion statement, but I mean, it's going to be very useful. Completely made out of recycled product. So what I did is I sewed starting there and starting there. The starting point was here and the ending point was there. The sewn on the edges all the way through on both sides. This is evidence of doing the other side, sewing this thing shut. I got a little overconfident because it was going over everything. It actually survived. Only bent one needle, thread broke twice, and I went all the way around again to close all the gaps up. So this is the side where the straps are. This is the side that the wood is going to be in. So there's not really any place that little pieces of wood can get caught up. It's all closed up now. One of the problems I had is I was getting a little too close to this. So I went actually sewn over this, and it went pretty well. I thought I would have problems, but with the Nikkei 244 that I have, industrial machine works really well. So let's go out and load it up, see what it looks like. That's it, loaded up. It actually did very well, so I'm going to grab this side, go over to that side, grab the strap if I can get it, and there it is. I mean, that's a substantial bit of wood. That's about as much wood as you would pay $5 at a store for. Now, this guy here, you get to where I can see it. This is another thing I made. This is a 10 millimeter painter's drop cloth, hemmed and grommets, PVC pipes. Another thing I made, if you want to see how to do it, I'm going to make smaller ones for the other racks over here. So if you want to see that, let me know, and I'll make the video about it. This is on a first year testing, and it's surviving pretty good through all the winds. All right, subscribe to see more videos. Take care. Bye.